What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a great day today. Welcome back to the Holden Gaming channel, your place for Star Wars content and more. Today's video is ranking all Duelist in Battlefront 2. So basically, this ranking will only be lightsaber heroes, and we're only going to be based off their performances in 1v1 lightsaber duels. So this is not in any way going to reflect how heroes do in HVV or against infantry or anything like that. This is purely in a 1v1 lightsaber duel, and we're going to be ranking them from worst to best. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Coming in the last spot, the worst in my opinion is Yoda. Really the problem with Yoda is he just doesn't do enough damage. Really, when you 1v1 a Yoda, you're never really scared unless you're already weak. He just doesn't really have any abilities that like really give him an advantage, and he just doesn't do a lot of damage. And he's personally like the most difficult hero to parry with. Of course, parrying is where you block an attack and immediately swing so that you can deal damage without receiving any. And because Yoda's block is different from other lightsaber heroes, it's just more difficult, I feel like, to do that with him. Again, this is just personal preference. Maybe a lot of you guys do really well as Yoda, but I just think he is the weakest out of all of these duelists. Coming in after Yoda, we have Darth Maul. Now, Darth Maul is in this position mainly because of his stamina and his health. He has a base health of 700, which is not very good, plus he doesn't have any sort of healing ability, so really he just doesn't have a lot of HP. He can be taken out pretty quickly, and he doesn't have a ton of blocking stamina. He's very good at attacking, but he cannot block for very long. He has decent abilities with his lightsaber throw, which is probably his best ability in duels. He's got his dash attack, and he's got his choke throw. His middle ability, the choke throw, is very good for like ledge killing enemies, but you have to be very careful because he is very susceptible to damage when he does that, because the animation takes like a second or two for him to do it. So if someone blocks that and then attacks you, they can get 2 or 3 swings on you before you can even move, because that animation has you stuck on the ground for about 2 seconds. Definitely the saber throw is his best ability. He does pretty good damage, decent stamina attacking, but his stamina is pretty subpar on the defensive, and his health is pretty subpar, so that's why I put Darth Maul at that position. Coming in after Darth Maul, we have Anakin. The thing about Anakin is he has good health and good damage, but he has terrible stamina. He just isn't that good. That really hurts him in duels. His pull dominance and heroic might, if you do the pull and then the heroic might and then passionate strike, that's a really good combo that does a lot of damage. And he does do pretty decent damage on the attack. It's just he runs out of stamina so quickly. And if you're facing a decent or good player, that's really going to hurt you, because they're going to be good enough where you're not going to kill them in one use of stamina. And once you're low on stamina, a good player will recognize that and use that to their advantage. So, yeah, Anakin, he does a lot of damage. He's got good health and good abilities, but his stamina is just so bad. I think the only person with worse stamina is General Grievous, which is actually the next person after Anakin is General Grievous. You could flip-flop these two if you wanted to. Grievous, again, he does the best damage with his lightsaber. He does the most damage out of any of these heroes I've noted, I think. But his blocking stamina is really bad, similar to Anakin. He's got really good abilities. His claw rush ability is really good because you can get behind people and pretty much always hit them with that ability. So that's really good in duels. It knocks him over, and then you can push the offensive after that. He's got his saber, his lightsaber thrust, which if you press it, it will target an enemy and he'll literally teleport to them. That's really good for closing distance if someone's trying to run away from you or they're in the air. It can be blocked, but it's still a very, very good ability that does a lot of damage. And then his unrelenting advance is really good if you need some time to get some health. Once you activate that, they cannot damage you from the front, which is really good. Really good for wearing out the stamina of another player. And yeah, that's why Grievous is in that position. I think he has really good abilities for duels, but his blocking stamina just really hurts him. He's got good health as well. Coming in after General Grievous, we have Luke Skywalker. We're getting into like the really decent heroes now, where we're getting to like middle of the road / really good. Luke is really the basic lightsaber hero. He's got 750 health, so he's got normal health. He's got good damage. He has the fastest swing speed of any hero, which is really good in duels. He can, deal damage the fastest. His abilities are, of course, his Saber Rush attack, his dash attack. He's got his Force Repulse and Force Push, which is really good. Force Push can be activated in the air, which is really good. Force Repulse cannot. Really the best combo is doing the dash attack and then the repulse, or doing the repulse and then the Force Push. Both of those do pretty good damage. He swings really quick, which is really good. He's got normal stamina. Really just a really decent hero. You can definitely do well in duels as Luke. Just very middle of the road. Not overpowered, but not underpowered. So that is why Luke is in that position. Coming in after Luke, we have Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is this high because of his what's it called? Frenzy. Frenzy is his middle ability. You teleport to the enemy, and it's 3 strikes, and the 3rd strike is an unblockable. So Frenzy is such a good ability in 1v1 duels, and it does a lot of damage. His freeze is really good because, one, you can activate it in the air, and once you freeze an enemy, they'll be immobile for a certain amount of time, so you can take that time to get behind them and deal that extra damage, because for those who don't know, the lightsaber does more damage if you hit someone from behind. And then he's got his pull ability. The pull ability is really good for if someone's trying to escape you, or you want to close the distance without taking damage or getting hit with an ability. That's a really good ability. So he's got very, very solid abilities. His stamina is middle of the road. His health is middle of the road at 750. But really, that Frenzy really makes Kylo. And that's why I put him where he is. Coming in after Kylo, we have Rey. Now, Rey is this high because of her dash attack. When she does her dash attack, which is, of course, the Saber Rush, she knocks over enemies when she hits them with it. So if you're in a duel and you hit someone with the Saber Rush and then it knocks them over, you can follow up with 2 or 3 lightsaber strikes before they can even do anything. So you can do 400, 500 damage in the span of 1 or 2 seconds, and the enemy can't even do anything. So if you catch someone off balance, you knock them over with that Saber Rush, they are done. You're going to do a ton of damage. Also, Rey has the Mind Trick. Mind Trick, of course, inverts your controls and puts your sensitivity down to pretty much 0. So that's really good for immobilizing a target in a duel. A veteran or decent player will be able to combat it, but they won't really be able to attack you during that time. So if you need some time to, regain some health, or if it's just not a good player, that can really ruin them. If you just need health back, it can kind of immobilize them. Well, they'll have to be on the defensive for that amount of time. She's got middle of the road health, middle of the road damage and stamina. It's really because of that dash attack that really makes Rey in duels. Coming in after Rey, we have ObiWan. I think we all know why ObiWan is here. ObiWan is here because he has an insane amount of stamina. He can block attacks for literally 3 years. His Force Push is a pretty good ability in duels, good for getting people off you if they're on the attack. He's got really, really good health regen, which is another reason ObiWan is this high. Not only can he block attacks for a long time, he can also take a lot of damage and regen a lot of it back. His Saber Rush is alright, his defensive rush. Wouldn't recommend using it too much because you can be hit with abilities when you're doing it, and it is kind of slow. You can maybe get behind enemies and do damage to them that way. So it's an okay ability. And then his Mind Trick, it takes off abilities where the enemy player you hit it with can't do abilities, which is pretty good in duels. So then I would recommend using that ability before you attack someone. That way you're not going to get hit with a freeze or a choke or something like that. yeah, he's just here because of his health regen and his stamina. He's got middle of the road health at 750, but the regen and stamina really make up for that. ObiWan is definitely one of the best duelists. Coming in after ObiWan, we have Count Dooku. Count Dooku is this high because his duelist. Count Dooku, who's got really good stamina, and he does an insane amount of damage in a very, very short amount of time with the duelist ability. You can literally take enemies out in 3 hits, and not only with only 3 hits can you take them out, but those 3 hits go down in literally about a second because he swings so quick. So he's got really good attack and blocking stamina. He's got insane damage output with that duelist ability, which is his middle ability, of course. His force lightning is pretty good if someone's constantly attacking you. It kind of gets them off you and does like 150 damage. And then his other ability, I forget what it's called, but it stops the enemy from regenning, and they also can't sprint. So yeah, he does so much damage with that duelist ability, and that's why I put Dooku at that position. Coming after Count Dooku, no surprise here because he's still so overpowered, it's Darth Vader. Darth Vader's this high because he can have 1,150 health, which is ridiculous. He's basically unkillable unless you're facing a really decent player. With his middle ability, not only can he have 1,150 health, but he also has damage reduction. And then with his choke ability and lightsaber throw, that combo is just dirty and does a ton of damage. So yeah, Vader is just an absolute beast in lightsaber duels. But yeah, that has been my ranking of all duelists in Battlefront 2. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.